Cabinet-elect Derryn Hinch is with me. We're talking about juvenile crime before the break, the aggravated burglaries and the stealing of the cars. And in fact, there are 3 kids charged today over a series of them between the age of 15 and 16. You think locking them up longer would fix it?
Well, to get those ones off the street, at least I wouldn't be doing it again. I mean, you've got kids who'll be revolving doors. I've talked to a lot of coppers, and they're frustrated as hell over this. So it's not going to... No, being incarcerated is going to probably make them confirmed criminals, but what they're doing now, breaking into people's houses, scaring wives and kids, you've got to take them off the street.
Why is it happening?
Probably because they're impoverished. There's lack of parental control, lack of parental involvement. I don't know the backgrounds of some of those families that you think it has to come back to that. Lack of respect for authority, lack of respect for police. Police, I think, having their hands tied a lot.
Hello, Jenny. Go ahead, please, Jenny.
Hi, Derryn.
Hi.
Hi. I just was wondering, now that you're in politics, whether you could take up the plight for the homeless and the mentally disadvantaged. We need a whole lot more services for the mentally disadvantaged.
Two quick things. The NDIS is the best thing that Bill Shorten ever got involved in, and Julie Gillard brought in, as well as the Royal Commission to institutionalise sex offending. Look, with the homeless, I've been involved for several years with a group called Wintringham in Melbourne. They take care of the homeless over 50. And I've been out to their places in Port Melbourne and Dandenong and Kensington. They are doing an amazing job. And it's called, their slogan is Home Till Stumps. There has to be more done like that. I know the Salvation Army say, hey, look, we've got beds if you want them, but it is a growing problem. You can't just do what the New Yorkers did and just move them away from Grand Central Station.
You mentioned police powers a moment ago. Would you give them more powers?
Well, I'd get them to enforce the powers they've got. I mean, this thing about people wearing balaclavas and masks to public rallies, as I understand it, and the coppers have told me, the law exists that they can. If you wear a disguise and with the anticipation of committing a crime, that's a crime. Exactly. So they can do it. Just enforce the laws they've got.
They're having trouble proving it, though. Well, you're wearing it, but how do you prove intent?
Well, I imagine if somebody's 20 feet away, a magistrate would say, if you're 20 feet away from a rally and you're walking in there with a balaclava on and a piece of metal in your hand, you're in dire straits.
Capital punishment, will you campaign for it?
No. I'm totally in favour of it, but the reason why I won't, and why it's not one of our issues, is because it'll never happen. Even if 70% of people wanted to, the Labor and Liberal federal governments have made it impossible for states to ever bring it back, and no federal government will, even though for some crimes like rape, murder, child abduction and murder. But no, we haven't. I mean, personally, I agree with it in some cases, but we won't campaign for it.
Euthanasia, will you campaign for it?
Heavily, yeah. Voluntary euthanasia, I think.
Think you'll win that?
Dying with dignity, yes, I do. Yes, I do, down the track. There's one that if you do a poll of that, you'll find 70-80% of people would favour it.
No question.
You know?
Katrina, hello, go ahead.
Hi, Neil, and congratulations, Derryn. I supported you from the beginning. And,
thank you. Do you know, there's a humbling thing here, and I never, this time last year, I would never, if I was sitting with Neil and he said, what are you going to do with your life, I would never dreamed I was going to go into politics. But we had more than, I think now, about 200,000 primary votes in Victoria, and that is humbling, you know, so I'll do my best.
Well done, but back to the bail issues for youth offenders, that has to be changed. But also for youth offenders, parents have to be part of the solution, because especially maybe some parents don't know where they're failing. As part of the rehabilitation of these youth, parents need to be responsible and be part of it.
Do you think they should be more accountable, Katrina?
I think so.
What do you do though? Do you say to a parent who hasn't got any money, say, oh, your child misbehaved, we're going to fine you, the parent, $1,000, and they don't have it? I don't know the answer there, but
not monetary, but if it's counselling sessions, just to understand where their children are going wrong.
If you have like a teenager, and that teenager's given a curfew, and then the parents must help enforce that curfew, I could see that as a way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you punish them for not enforcing the curfew.
Yes.
So you are giving the parents some accountability over what their child does.
Yeah, and that makes sense if the kid's 16.
Right. Superannuation, you and I talked about during the campaign, it was one of the great mistakes of the government. They're now talking about fiddling it. What's your view of that?
Well, the thing is this. The Prime Minister says he's got a mandate, and he said he campaigned on this and he got elected on it. He has to take the legislation as it is to the Parliament and get it knocked back and then make the amendments. He can't amend it now for his backbench and fiddle with it because he would say, well, that's not what I was elected for. He can't have it both ways, and he's going to lose the fight. especially over the 500,000. But he'll lose the fight, but he has to present it as it is, and I think he intends to do that.
So if he puts a rewritten superannuation plan before the Parliament, would you reject it?
Very good question, Neil Mitchell, because I've said I'll answer the 7 points. I won't answer the others until I get there and have a look at it.
That's something you'd look at, though.
Of course I'd look at it.
Mm.
And the retrospectivity of it, I've argued loud and long about that, so that's pretty obvious. I think right now that both the government and the opposition are trawling through the entrails of Hinch's editorials to see get clues to what I think.
They changed every week. Are you long term? Do you reckon you do 3 years? Want to keep going? Or?
I do not. I'm there for 9 years. I'll do the 3 if that's all I get, and I'll stay for 6. No, I'll be 81. I'm now the oldest elected senator ever. Do you know that? The record stood for 90 years. A guy was elected in South Australia as a nationalist in 1927. He wasn't elected, he was appointed at 71 years and 1 month, and then he was only there for 8 months, and then they flicked him.
So you're the oldest ever senator?
Ever elected, yes. Yes. I think Dodson was probably the oldest appointed one for the Labor Party. He's about 68 or 69, I would say. But, so I go and do the Trivial Pursuit board anyway.
Good luck with it, and I look forward to talking. How long do you spend in radio?
How long did I spend in radio? Well, 1978, I came to 3XY 4 in Moyled, and I came to 3AW in 1979, and I was here off and on ever since.
Didn't anybody ever tell you not to shout into the microphone?
No.
Good.
No, because that's if you don't have fire in your belly, you don't deserve to be here.
You're popping.
That's their job.
No,
fix the popping.
The microphones, unlike your day, they're very sensitive now.
And well, I'm very
sensitive.
So am I, Neil. I'm that sensitive. Good night. It's nice to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Derryn Hinch, Senator-elect.